paradise won't change your mind. Can't shape the lights. I'll take the chance and roll the dice.
And welcome back, guys.
Can we get that glowy thing up there?
Yes, we can. In fact, that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do.
Are you? I don't believe you.
I'm going to use these guys right here. I'm going to chirp at them nice and hard. And I'm going to fly
Like an eagle?
to the rune.
Fly like an eagle? Let your spirit make your scarf longer?
Yep.
That didn't work at all.
No, unfortunately,
But then again, neither of us can carry a tune, so I'm not surprised. I mean, Patrick is really
he's the
musical
singer.
one, but when he has confidence in himself to do it, or he's been recording long enough that he's stopped caring.
Yep.
That's the one that happens more often, actually. But he's away at a keto camp. Do we know if he's getting his black belt at it yet or not? Or is that something
He's not sure.
Oh, that's going to be a case of they will inform him like on the last day?
Yeah, they will inform him at the just before the test whether or not he's actually testing.
Oh, so in other words, it's more like they will inform him as he's putting his stuff into the car to come home. They're like, hey, by the way, here's your black belt. And he'll be like, huh? Whee! I mean, I get why they do it. I totally get why they do it. But that has to be the most nerve-wracking thing ever. And I don't think I could stand it. In fact, I know I couldn't stand it.
Bat.
Yeah.
I made a bridge.
Did you?
I did.
Did you? Is it over troubled waters?
No, it's over sand.
Yeah, see, this... I think you might want to rethink your title, because Bridge Over Sand...
It doesn't. It doesn't have any zing to it.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue or anything. And as we know, sand it's coarse and it's irritating and it gets everywhere.
Yep.
So I don't think your novel's going to do very well,
Not like here.
Especially with the Sith contingent.
Ugh.
And
There's always two of them.
Always. But hey, since one always has to kill the other, and there's nothing about their stuff getting passed on, that means you'll have a constant market for the book if you can find a good name for it.
That's very true.
So, all right. Oh, you did get all 3 runes. Congratulations. I wasn't paying attention at all. I didn't even know there were 3 runes here.
There are 3 runes in every zone.
Okay. Ooh. And now
I sit.
Yay. Oh, this game's so peaceful.
It is.
I'm just waiting for Michael Bay to come along and start exploding things. Because things are too peaceful.
It's okay.
Oh, hello,
They wouldn't be
owl
forever.
lady. How's it going? Oh, rejected by owl lady.
And now we get more of the story.
We do. Okay, so after not making it to the black hole with the cloth bits, they decided that what they would do is build a bridge to the black hole, and then they could get closer and they could observe it. But little did they know, the black hole was observing them too, and created a monorail system. Ran through their capital. And charged public funds to maintain a private business. That's and then other black holes moved in and provided power. I know I'm stretching here, but come on,
Just a little bit.
Give me some feedback. Am I at least on the right track?
You're not even close.
But the trains run on time.
Yeah, when they're running, yes, they were on time.
So, I've seen you tilting the controller back and forth. Is the camera controlled by camera tilt?
It's both camera tilt and the left joystick.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, right joystick. So it can be either one.
Okay, that's not as bad then, because some of the early PS3 games when they were like, oh look, we've got
motion controls. Let's use them.
Use them for everything, and having your it wasn't until later patches that they actually started allowing you to remap the camera controls. It was one of the most annoying things ever.
Yep.
One of the games that I want to play on this channel at some point, just to demonstrate how forced motion controls can kill an otherwise good game, is Heavenly Sword, which was kind of touted at the time that it's also by Santa Monica Studios, who published this. As it was supposed to be their guys, please let us be done with God of War, we want to do something else game. And you know, it's a very visually stunning game. It was touted as the next God of War when it came out.
Yep.
And you know, it's a pretty game. It has an interesting plot and has a lot going for it. But every time you throw a weapon or shoot a bow or any sort of ranged combat, it goes into slow-mo, control the projectile using the controller.
God,
and if you're sitting how most people sit when they play a game where you're slouched back and the controller's tilted slightly up, every single one of your shots goes straight out the bow into the ceiling. And it is aggravating to no end. And this is because there are motion controls. There are therefore forced motion control things where they will take a break from the normal hacky slash action of the game to force you into a sniping section. Yeah.
Yeah, as you guys can see, the cloth isn't just, hey, it's random floaty stuff. There are living creatures made of the cloth.
Ooh.
Like that cloth manta there. Yay, cloth manta!
So they've taken the cloth. They're all priests. Is that what I'm hearing here? Can you tilt the camera and look at the mountain again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It does get closer in every new zone.
Pretty. I like it.
I just happened to take a side path that wasn't the main path because...
Whatever. You're in a giant pink desert made of rose petals. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. This is made of rose petals. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks very nice. I mean, you can tell that it's kind of pushing what the PS3's graphics were at the time, because there's a little there's in the shadows and valleys. There's little bits where you can tell it's not exactly perfect, but this is still. But who cares?
Exactly.
Honestly, I mean, graphics are one thing, but if the gameplay is good, I don't really. If the gameplay is good and the story is engaging, I really don't care about graphics that much. But that's me personally. If you can get good graphics, go with it.
Yep.
Fucking go for it. But graphics shouldn't be the be-all, end-all of gameplay, which unfortunately, some game companies still haven't learned.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to isolate our viewers, so I'm not going to give some examples. Or I'll give some examples of things that we have played that were like, oh, please make me stop.
Yeah.
Or let me stop. Some of the one-shots and other things that we have on the channel are just like, oh my god, this looked good, but oh my... Or, let's see, our stack of games over there. Let's see. We got a couple... what was it? Starfighter. It looked pretty.
Yeah. That was all it had going for it.
Yeah, all it had going for it was
friggin'
pretty.
controls.
It was horrible controls. The dialogue made no sense. But the freaking cutscenes looked worse than in-game stuff.
They really did.
Okay, so what happened here is they developed hover technology, and they used it to scare crows away from their cornfields. Yep. There's no other explanation for something like that. That's clearly what happened.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Yes. You should never have me interpret stuff. But that's actually why... that's the sort of thing that actually makes code names and games like that so much fun. But at the same time, the reason why I really don't like Dixit.
Dixit.
Dixit is is a card game where every card just has art on it.
Oh.
And the idea is to, on each round, someone picks a card from their hand and plays and shows it to everyone. And then everyone else picks a card from their hand, which obviously has a different piece of art on it.
Oh, of course.
They think represents what the person who played the first card means. So I could have a card that was like a field of flowers with like a top hat sitting in it, and maybe my interpretation of it is, oh, this is like a noble gentleman, or like
Yeah.
the cards are purposely abstract. And then but Chris thinks, those flowers look a lot like poppies. And poppies are an opiate that cause people to go through like withdrawal, and the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, let's see, they're just harvesting their corn. It's okay.
Yeah.
And the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, he's that was thought of as being like an opiate addiction, and there's that top hat. So clearly this means the Mad Hatter. So I'm going to play this card that has a teapot and a clock on it, because that clearly means the Mad Hatter's tea party.
Oh, of course.
And so it's shit like that, trying to come up with it. And then at the end, there's voting that happens at the end of every round to be like, oh, I think this is what the first person meant, and the first person like votes on which one they think is the closest to what they like, and it's just
it sounds far too arbitrary for my enjoyment.
It kind of, and I mean, I know I'm not. I've only played it like one or two times, and I did not enjoy it because of how abstract stuff is. But I'm sure I am not explaining it properly, and I have a feeling that those one or two times we played it, we were not playing it correctly, because it was the first time the first time we played it was the first time any of us had been playing it, and the second time I played it was the first time most of us had played it. So it was a case of we might not be playing it correctly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still wasn't enjoying it, so I'm not really interested.
You're not motivated to put more effort into it.
But a game that's kind of like that, with the sort of the abstract thing that I've been that I watched Tabletop play, Geek and Sundry with Will Wheaton and such, was Mysterium.
Okay.
And that is a game, it's a cooperative game where you're figuring out abstract clues like that.
Gotcha.
And we're in a haunted house, and someone has been murdered here. Let's help. One player is the ghost who's been murdered, but the event is so tragic they don't really remember what's happened.
Yeah.
And the other players are psychics trying to interpret the ghost vision, like the ghost visions. And so the ghost is not allowed to directly talk with the psychics, and it's like a tiered system. It's like, all right, figure out the suspects, and then figure out the room it happened in, and then figure out the weapon, because as you know, you get closer and closer to finding out the actual murder, you become. But the ghost can only act through interpretation cards, which are abstract, like the Dixit cards, where it's like, okay, so this is an hourglass that contains a field of grass with a knight in it, and on the bottom it's like the bottom, instead of being sand, is like an ocean, but it is an hourglass, and and you're trying to figure it out from there, with that sort of abstract thinking.
Yeah.
So, it's a generator. But we will continue this journey through the abstract and the strange and the bizarre upon the next episode.
See you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Like I'll never die. I lose my head in the starry skies. Can't chain me down. I feel so alive.